Tonight, Tom Antonio throws his hat into the ring, officially announcing he's running for Mayor of Whyalla. And Deputy Premier Susan Close hits back at comments made by opposition leader David Spears.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. On the day of Whyalla's live candidate ballot draw, Tom Antonio has publicly announced he's jumping back into the race to become the city's mayor. Speaking first to 7 Spencer Golf Nightly News, Antonio says he's excited to connect with the community in the lead up to the election. Edward McCarroll reports.
After weeks of whispers and speculation amongst the community, today Spencer Golf Nightly News can confirm that Tom Antonio will throw his hat into the ring to become Mayor of Whyalla.
I'm Tom Antonio and I'm running for the position of Mayor in Whyalla. I'm passionate and committed for the city.
On the eve of public nominations closing, Antonio announced his campaign earlier this morning, saying he is driven by a need to see Whyalla reach its full potential. It comes as the prominent businessman lost the 2018 council election to the now outgoing Mayor Claire McLaughlin on preferential votes. Feeling as though he just missed out, Antonio has remained in the public eye as a strong voice for the Ratepayers Association and as part of the business community with several stores across the Spencer Gulf.
If people vote for me, they know they can come and see me, talk to me, because I understand the issues and the needs of the whole community.
The former councillor and deputy mayor says he's proud to have been a part of the decision to build the iconic jetty and to establish an Avenue of Honour Anzac Day project along Nicholson Avenue.
I am excited because I believe that I am a very committed and passionate person for the people of Whyalla. I've proven what I can achieve.
Fellow mayoral candidate Phil Stone welcoming the competition, saying it's good to have a range of nominees across the board.
And I'd encourage anybody, whether it's for the mayor's position or as an elected member, if you're serious about Whyalla and you would really like to help get the city going again and moving forward, don't sit back, get involved.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Deputy Premier has weighed in on the fate of building a desalination plant on the Eyre Peninsula. Susan Close says the state government is drawing closer to making its final decision.
A big desalination divide leaving the Eyre Peninsula at a crossroads. The Deputy Premier hitting back at David Spears' comments last week, affirming her position.
So let's just dispose of David Spears' comments first. He was in government for 4 years and didn't build a desal plant. And in fact, what he did was set up a committee to look for an alternative site to the one that he and SA Water selected.
The committee putting forward Sleaford West as the proposed site. However, the Minister for Environment and Water says the government is still considering the original location at Billy Light's Point.
So what we need to do is work out whether that is still the best site or whether the alternative that's been selected by the committee is better. And the challenge there is all about money.
The Minister's saying the site at Sleaford West comes with geological and financial challenges.
The Sleaford West site, we don't even know quite how much more it will cost, but it'll be something in the order of $100 million more because it's a lot further out. Now, we're doing the work right now to determine exactly what the cost is.
Ms Close praising the work of the committee, taking into account their recommendations. However, Port Lincoln is racing against the clock, facing water insecurity in the year 2025.
What we'll be doing is seeing if there's any federal funding, because that is probably the best solution to fund the more expensive site. Otherwise, we are at risk of having to go back to the original site as selected under the previous government.
The Deputy Premier aims to make a trip to the Eyre Peninsula at the end of this month before a decision is made. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The state opposition is piling the pressure on the government to address Port Augusta's antisocial behaviour problem. Member for Stewart, Jeff Brock, says a new program will be implemented and admits the city has an image problem.
Since the City Safe program was abolished by Port Augusta City Council due to budgetary pressure, concerns have been raised about the rise in antisocial behaviour. Locals alerting the state government of their plight. Member for Stewart, Jeff Brock, says a replacement for the City Safe program will be announced shortly and council won't be footing the bill.
It'll have another name, but the funding itself will not be borne by the Port Augusta City Council or the ratepayers of Port Augusta. It'll be borne by the government agencies, which needs to happen. So again, it's been a long journey. But we've got to get it right the first time.
Gladstone Square has been a major focal point of the antisocial behaviour both day and night, with people violating the alcohol bans and starting fights just steps away from the local council building. The state opposition is demanding action be taken.
Port Augusta Council, I understand, is crying out for this. Businesses in Port Augusta are crying out for this. Our message to the government, and particularly Jeff Brock, is stop the platitudes and just get on and deliver.
Very proud of what we're doing up here. I'm very proud of the people of Port Augusta, but we need to get on top of this image that we've got here in Port Augusta, and we are doing that, but we need to do it in a collaborative way.
Opposition leader David Spears disagrees with Mr Brock's method of getting things done.
Jeff Brock doesn't achieve very much as a minister. Between 2014 and 2018, he did very little for his community. Talked the talk, certainly didn't walk the walk.
Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The township of Kimber is calling upon more GPs to work within its newly upgraded medical centre. It follows the release of a new video campaign highlighting the community's way of life.
A Kimber call out. The township is home to 1,200 people and is in desperate need of a GP. Now a new video campaign is hoping to attract doctors to the region.
I guess the idea rolled about because we were having difficulties recruiting a doctor, and we thought, well, maybe we need to showcase what we believe is great about living in Kimber.
The 1-minute video highlights the people of Kimber and their way of life. After 2 years without a resident GP, the Mayor is hopeful the new upgrades to his medical centre can draw one in.
Major upgrade and extension to our council-owned medical centre. So $1 million upgrade. It has solar energy now.
Doctor shortages within regional townships forever an ongoing issue, severely impacting residents of the Eyre Peninsula.
We've been working with state and federal governments for a number of years now to try and address the shortage of GPs, especially rural GPs, and it's a really complicated and complex problem.
The National GP Search Campaign video, Thinking Outside the Box, showcasing the heart of the community.
We don't just want a polished, normal, same as type video promotion that showcases Kimber. We really wanted to capture the heart and essence of our community.
The full video will be directed to medical networks and practitioner bodies. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, dozens of apprenticeship opportunities for tech-savvy Spencer Gulf locals. And sporting clubs in the Yorke Peninsula on the receiving end of much-needed grant money. Welcome back. SA Power Network has announced 69 new power line and electrical apprenticeships will be made available to help young local people get a jump start in the industry. A variety of work is on offer, including exploring artificial intelligence, drones and digitalisation. Apprenticeships are available in Whyalla, Port Pirie and Port Lincoln for an early 2023 start. Applications close September 18. The Yorke Peninsula Council recently announced the community grant winners of the annual scheme. And with 30 community groups and not-for-profit organisations sharing just over $100,000, there's plenty to look forward to.
The Yorke Peninsula is in for a sporting revamp. $100,000 worth of grant money set to benefit the wider community, with upgrades to sporting clubs, emergency services and integrating disability and wheelchair-friendly infrastructure.
One of the goals around the peninsula is to make to provide access and experience for those with mobility challenges, and this is one project which does exactly that.
Another exciting project is the establishment of a 9-hole par-3 golf course to the scenic location of Port Victoria. With sport being the heart and soul of the Yorke Peninsula, it's no surprise the majority of the funding will go towards sporting clubs. The Minlaton District Community and Sports Centre is one such club, which has been in the works for quite some time. Chairperson David Newbold saying it wouldn't be possible without community volunteering, fundraising and grants like this one.
A district and community sports centre. So, but community being the first initial part of it, sports centre is after. So it's somewhere our community can go to for any reason.
With over 40 submissions, unfortunately, some organisations will miss out. But there is always next year.
Definitely, we encourage people to try again, and sometimes we give feedback if their application was missing some detail or ways they can get that across the line.
Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Broken Hill residents had their say in person today on the maximum prices companies will be allowed to charge for water over the next few years. The public review, part of the Independent Pricing and Regulatory Tribunal's visit to the Far West.
Listening to the concerns of the Far West community. Today, Broken Hill and surrounds, in person and online, were given the chance to air their concerns in regard to water price increases, which will come into effect in January.
I'm really pleased that we've got quite a few people here today, and we really value everyone making the time to come and join us. We've had some quite important issues raised.
The Chief Operating Officer of Essential Water in attendance, as well as a representative from Water New South Wales.
We've got Essential Water here, and there's been opportunity for people to ask questions of them, as well as for IPART to ask questions of them and for everyone to ask questions of us at IPART.
When it comes to water usage and wastage, the Far West is a unique part of the state, experiencing both droughts and excessive rain in recent years.
That are really going to help the tribunal to understand some of the unique factors here in Broken Hill as we make our final decision.
Submissions for the draft report close on Friday, meaning there's still time to air any concerns. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. How a document has transformed the way One Spencer Golf Council operates. And almost 100 years in the making, Port Pirie Croquet Club celebrates its annual Gala Day event. Welcome back. The District Council of Mount Remarkable has reported a major boost in positive community engagement after adopting a new culture and behaviour statement. The statement applies not just to council staff, but to councillors as well, and of course, the Mayor.
The District Council of Mount Remarkable was previously dealing with poor behaviour and low staff morale.
Our first culture survey we did over 2 years ago returned some results which were really not great. And it was fair and frank. The staff, for the first time in a long time, had an opportunity to say this is what we think anonymously, and this is why we do this process every year, because it's important to do that.
But major reforms in management, including the adoption of a culture and behaviour statement, have seen the council transform.
From that very first survey, where we had a really low engagement score, to then fast forwarding just 12 months, where we took away some of the actions and we changed things and we brought staff on the journey, we empowered them, including the culture and behaviour statement, where we got to almost 100% engagement. So you're talking less than 20% to 95% in just a 12-month window, and it's taking an enormous amount of work, and a lot of that credit is due to the staff.
Now the statement has been adopted by all councillors and the Mayor, meaning they're held to the same standards as staff.
We are Mount Remarkable as a team, and we are going to be Team Remarkable. So, in some respects, it's a remarkable result.
Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Croquet players throughout the York Peninsula travelled to Port Pirie yesterday for the club's annual Gala Day, creating quite the racket. The club is set to celebrate their centenary next year, a milestone not many clubs reach.
Players describe croquet as chess on grass, saying there's more to it than meets the eye.
It's very challenging, I tell you. I'm not sure whether I enjoy it.
Members enjoy the social inclusion of the sport and look forward to the Gala Day each year.
Oh, it's friendly and it gets me out of the house, and it's good exercise, especially for us older people. I mean, my sister still plays and she's 90.
The day consists of 2 2.5-hour games, with lunch in between. giving players the chance to verse everyone, with the winners announced at the end of a long day.
It's not as easy. I think when you see it on the movies, you think you just hit the ball through the hoop, but that's not the game.
There are different variations of the game, so anyone can play despite their age and ability.
Anyone can get around, and for older people it's non-contact, it's take your time, and we do have an easier game than this one that we can play too.
Next year is the Croquet Club's 100th year in operation. And if you'd like to practice your swing before the next gala day, head down to Memorial Drive on Thursday evenings or Saturday mornings for a friendly hit. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us. After the break, we recap some of the sporting comps that took place over the weekend. And we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Welcome back. As the weather heats up, so are some of the competitions in the Spencer Golf, while others are starting to wind down and are crowning their champions. Joshua Mercer has this week's Sports Wrap.
Teams are certainly upping the ante, asserting their dominance over their competition. And while the local footy comp has come to a close, it's just the beginning for other sports. Starting off with netball, and the spring competition in Broken Hill is well underway. In round 4 action, West Flames Red have upset ladder leaders Jesters 30-5. Second place United beat bottom of the table New Kids 38-26. Continuing a good night for the West Flames, their other team, the Robins, were too strong for the Divas, winning 22-15. In Port Pirie, Central Risdon have taken out the A-grade winter competition, beating Blue Wren in a close match 51-50. It was no surprise that the game came down to the wire, as Risdon and Blue Wren were well above the rest of the field. Whyalla Netball have also crowned their 2022 champions. Kiwi A-grade, who remain undefeated all season, beat True Blue 62-45. Whyalla Rangers have made it into the Port Lincoln Netball Association's grand final, downing Boston 58-30. They will meet Waybacks in the big dance this Saturday. Moving over to soccer now, and in the final round of the Broken Hill Soccer Association's regular season, Alma have beaten Celtic 1-0, while in the other game, St Joe's had a big win over West 9-1. St Joe's have been the benchmark team all year and will look to take out the A-grade premiership. Changing gears now, and in the Port Lincoln Hockey Association, the Panthers have won the men's A-grade qualifying final, beating Marauders 2-0. In the elimination final, Wanderers beat Flinders 2-1. In the women's A-grade, Marauders were victorious in the qualifying final, beating Panthers 5-1. While in the elimination final, Wanderers have had a big win over Flinders 7-0. And finally, in Whyalla 8-ball, Steel Green beat Senators 6-3. Old Firm conquered Shamrock 6-3. Croatia Red took down the Left-Hand Cats 7-2. Whyalla City beat City Slickers 6-3. The Rejects doubled Sham Thistle's score 6-3. And Lions Gold had a win over Croatia CC's 7-2. If you'd like your sport to be featured on our bulletin, you can contact us through our Facebook page.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Alex Sykes. Alex, the weather is about to take a turn.
Thanks, Maddie. Yes, that's right. The Bureau is predicting storms across most of our region tomorrow and heavy rain to go with it. Butner did have a bit of a preview with some rain falling this afternoon, reaching 24 degrees, 24 in Port Augusta as well, just 16 in Port Lincoln today. Looking more broadly at today's weather map now, Cooper Pedy and Port Pirie both reached 23 degrees, 21 the top in Broken Hill, Whyalla and Kadina, 18 in the capital. Taking a look at the satellite image now, a low pressure system south of Western Australia will move east to be south of the Bight tomorrow and will extend over the west of South Australia. As this system moves eastwards, the associated front is expected to move into the eastern states early Thursday. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas between 1 and 1.5 metres, and south to southwesterly swell below a metre. Possible storm in Port Lincoln tomorrow, set to reach a high high of 18 degrees there. Similar conditions in Cleve, 19. Same goes for Woodner, between 11 and 20 degrees. Showers and possible storms in Whyalla, 21. Humid in Port Augusta. Possible storms set to reach a top of 25 degrees there. Kadina heading for a soggy top of 19. Afternoon storm is just about locked in for Port Pirie. 30 mils of rain is expected at this stage, temperature-wise 23 degrees. Clare heavy rain and set to reach a top of 17 degrees, and Broken Hill won't escape the stormy conditions either. Very high chance of rain and storms most likely in the late afternoon and evening, between 11 and 24 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, the wet weather is looking to continue into Thursday, with every centre on our map except for Coober Pedy expecting some showers. It won't be as warm either. 17 in Port Lincoln and Woodner. Kadina will be around 18 degrees, 19 in Whyalla and Broken Hill, 20 in Port Augusta. Moving on to Friday's forecast now, and more of the same to end the working week. 16 and rainy in Kadina, Adelaide and Port Lincoln, 17 in Woodner and Port Pirie, 19 in Whyalla and Broken Hill, 20 degrees in Port Augusta. And finally, taking our first look at Saturday's outlook now, the rain is set to stick around in Port Pirie, Kadina and Adelaide, but the rest of the region is looking rain-free at this stage. And that's all the weather from me for tonight, Maddie. I hope you all stay safe tonight. It's back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. Stay safe indeed. And that's the local news this Tuesday. I'm Madeline Kerr. From all of us here, thanks for joining us. I'll have updates a little later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.